Hello and welcome. It is that of the 22nd day of May 2019. Welcome to the Money Charts channel. My name is Derek All Bets Trades. And of the like, well, that's within each his own risk and their own reward. Man, this is freaky. All right, I'm trying to just look around. What other coins can I trade against Litecoin? I'm doing my math, and man, I can really at the stakes. I've added the last two coins with his uh, one that has like flying in the air, like not like rise, but fly or something like that. I don't even know the name of it offhand. It's well, one is go, and let me just check. Well, I can check in here. Sky, sky, sky. So I bought sky, I bought go, but now I'm looking for other coins. What I looked at before was stellar, and there's other XLM as well too. Same thing. And I like it, but the volatility is a little bit low. But for the same reasons I'm playing Bitcoin Cash and Litecoin together, it might be a go, but maybe it's on the door possibility. I don't know. And I'm going with the old school ones, as is NXT. It's an old school one. It was around well before I got into this. And the volatility is nothing but spectacular. Okay, then. So I go to the website. Okay, fine. I see. Oh, this is where it looks like I download the wallet. Click on Windows. It's about a 3 or 4 minute download and about a 2 minute install. Okay, so far so good. Then like with anything, you start off and you get your private keys, and sometimes they'll give you the exact private key with the Go coin. That one you log in with the exact private key, but whether you use, but that's not your the word phrase. But they gave me word phrases, and this got too scary. First of all, it was really small to read, so I just did a print screen and then I just put this to 200%. Okay, your automated generated passphrase is first death, stress, power, youth, stress again, broken, shiver, explain, cross, shiny, health, hate. Ooh, that's kind of you put those together. That combination is kind of, and a lot of times when I go through these codes, I'll just read them through and put them together, and like, oh, that they really don't make much sense together, and they're like, oh, whatever. But that's pretty scary. So I'm not getting into NXT simply because of that. Moving on to the Go coin, which is in a 302. It was yesterday up to 351. And we look at this on the daily term. Okay, so it's had its moved. Enough for the band to flatten out. Resistance established. It's so marginal. It's a very large pierce above, maybe. And if it is, I mean, I would normally be looking for like 370 in this area here. So, no, I'm going to count this as a large pierce above. I don't see stage 2 yet done for established resistance. But the band has flattened out. That's the big one. So now 18 average of lows and having it start to rise is important, and if it can not go down, it will do such. But holding where you came from, looking around, just my blind eye, well, not blind eye, but the looking at less data and only at the last 9 or so periods, that's a better way of putting it. It looks like it's around 283. The area you really want to see it hold. 4 hour time frame, we're looking at about 283. Yeah. So 283, 279, 276, this area is really the most must hold area. And in looking at such a format, one way of looking at this is you can almost make this as a left shoulder, a head, a right shoulder. It broke by the neckline in here. Now it's back to the neckline area. But really what it comes down to as well, higher, or this is the low, is the lower one. Higher low in here. So I think making a higher low over this one, which means, yeah, this point in here, yeah, I'm going to put around 275, 276 as the absolute must hold area for like a higher low. If I see any weakness falling below there, then this is going to be looking like a failed breakout and failed time correction. And we could be heading for another move lower, which will increase the volatility. And I'm playing this at low stakes merely because obviously high risk, high reward. If this is not going to nothing and it's going to do well, then the gains that these could have will be spectacular. But I could be coming back in like 9 months from now and saying that this is 60 Satoshi or even lower. That's the nature of the volatility and the risk versus the reward. Let's move on to Bitcoin, which is really having this low volatile symmetricalness in here. Yesterday, with an inside day on on a high volatile pause day from before, which technically was an inside day the day before as well, which is okay. We had this move. We're still yet to have the break above or break below. All that indecision. Okay, buyers came in. What do we see about this move? Is this a real one? Is this not? And the verdict, of course, is still live. You can draw uptrend lines. Obviously, resistance here hasn't been tested since this day. This day lower, and the low in here was 78.05. Today's low is 77.55. So it's a lower low, but it's still an inside double day from this move in from this day as well. When we look at this on other time frames, like the 4-hour term, a lot of this is sideways action there. The 18 average amongst this is, I mean, the 18 low starting to decline, highs rather, but that, and it's only barely doing so. So neutrality, maybe trying to shift down. You had this move to the 18 lows on the previous 4-hour timestamp, but it's had a small rebound since that point, and on the single-hour term time frame, there's that small rebound right now. So as far as looking at via such in this time frame, or what we see in here, and I don't want to use my drawing tool, so I'm just going to put this on auto and get a different exchange. All right then. So from this breakout on, let's just go. Let's go back to all of this in here. So 8,300 has been this major resistance point. Obviously, it's this because we were never there in April. We were never there until about a 3/4 of a year ago. So the big level of resistance is right in here. So as the 18 plays out, I want to start playing it from the bottom period. So in this situation here, the market had already lifted down from the 18 lows, barely making a low in here, resisting it. But when this started, that's when the reversal happened. It got above the 18, successfully corrected this for a significant period of time, big move up. And of course, supporting it, and then the retest of that resistance, which of course, since then, is showing all of the symmetricalness. Well, it had the break below this and a leg lower, but that would have only been established support come back to the band. And since then, okay, so if you look at reversal of trend, band flattening out in here, test support, okay, come back to the band, okay, and nothing's happened since then. Because we haven't had an attempt to retest this level. And we haven't had much of an attempt to resumption of trend, not reversal, resumption. Okay, it had it here. A chance to break out above the 18. I think from this point forward, I can put this back to auto. And you had this attempt to break out, didn't do it. But it successfully supported it. A very small attempt here, didn't do it. It held and stayed above the 18 average of lows, even though it pierced below it a few times. Comes to the 18 here, but just settles into the sideways move. No real attempt until here. And this move takes us to this attempt high, but that was about it. And now the correctionary move, long lasting, and it failed right in this point in here. So now amongst this, okay, well, we're kind of establishing support, but we're still in the mode of this one in here. So along the way of trying to revert the trend, we had this move pretty much halfway through where it broke down from the highs, where this key target level is, and it is now bounced to the newly declining 18. So that's the test. It does need to get above this to even test to resume it again. So right now we're looking at close to 8,000 to even attempt to do it. High 7,900s. Basically breaking 7,950 on this time frame. And that's all going to change as this 18 average throughout the day is going to move and so on and so forth, but in that general area. But in the current time frame, if we're seeing weakness amongst here, seeing it come down to here over the rest of the morning, it's 10:41 into the early afternoon, or the next 2-3 periods, and yeah, if we see it go down here, then we're going to have a test of this level, and that doesn't mean it's going to break through it. But if it does, that would be okay for this time frame reversal of trend, and this would be in that of a bear market. And overall, any sort of bear market moves. Let's even go to the weekly. I mean, it's got a long ways to go just to match this 18. The 18 average of highs is in at 58.46. Well extended. So there's many support points on the way just to even get there. And whenever it's ready for a correction via that of either price and or time, the 18 average will be waiting. Whether it's going to start doing this now or 2, 4, 6 weeks from now, time of course will only tell, and I'll just react to the situations moving forward. Okay, let's move on next to Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin SV. First, Bitcoin Cash, which has a continuation of this entangling within this previous level of so many times hit of resistance. As this is, you can say, an interesting situation. You come down here, you resist it, but you had this break below, and it rebounded quickly, didn't resist the 18 and fall down. So that's a strong point because, okay, you go down, that's a bear market, that's normal. Okay, 18 test, you always have that. It's not like at first the 52 was anything too large, although each period it was getting larger and larger. Oh, you're falling down. That's what bear markets do. You go down, you're below the 18, you reach the 18, there's a price correction, then following that with a time, and down it goes. So we see during the following three red candles here, that's where, oh, there's the breakdown. Now, first of all, you're usually expecting its leg lower to be like 40 or 43, somewhere down here at least, but it didn't do that. So be it. But if it comes down here, hits the 18 highs and goes down, that's bear market stuff. But it went right up to the 18 highs, and that was a little warning sign right there that, okay, what's going on here? Is this possibly ready to turn over? And as the time goes on, the 18 we can see is down, sideways, flat, so that's a flattening out. Very nicely. And it's been just hitting it many times. I like how these lows are higher and higher. The 18 average of lows is starting to rise rapidly, and if it continues to do such, that's gonna keep doing as well. But it seems poised, like it's good probability to break above it. And here's the thing: I could say, "Oh, wait for a clear break above it." Well, it had it. It had it yesterday. And in a spot like this, if and I don't trade it this way, but if this is something you'd be, and this is not a flash move, this really happened over like a good 15-minute period. But okay, I'm buying long 55 when you're in. Where's your stop? If you stopped out now, I don't know what else to say. But it means that you're gonna have to go through these down hits, and sometimes this is going to happen. And for me, as somebody that's looking at this, and you're looking at probability odds, risk reward, okay, what's the probability odds that this is going to be a winning play? And this is where the skill and art comes in. And I'm not even going to try to mathematically even give a number here. That's how hard it is. But then you say, okay, that's the percentage of the gain, or the likelihood of having a gain. And then when I look at it further, okay, what kind of profit am I going to have if it has a gain? Because what's going to probably happen here is it's going to, on the weekly chart, which has been in decline, flatten out, establish resistance, come back to the band. Well, we're going to be in a situation of two different things. One, we're going to have resistance at 65.4, which is where the previous level was a few weeks ago in here. As we can see that on the daily, getting above here, that's that quick level. So getting up to here means, okay, this is that, oh, cool, now what situation? Because bullishly and bearishly for resistance on a bullish level means you go sideways, you come back maybe down to this 52 handle, and then go higher. On a bearish level, of course, you top, you go down, you're going to find lower highs and lower lows the rest of the way. So maybe part of your strategy is, okay, I'm going to sell half here. So the mathematical level is that. And then the percentage chances that I think it gets to this resistance and goes higher is this percentage. And if it does that, we're probably going to make a move up until, like, say, maybe this 10 number, maybe even 12. And that would be how much gain mathematically. You can calculate that very easily. And that's just how part of assessing your risk versus your reward. But with this price long term, getting above this mark, and again showing it on the daily, getting above here, that could be lights out. Oh my goodness, that is amazing. So the daily term has a good time frame setup, as does the weekly. And shortening this out, this is something that I find really cool because I got the line in here. So it didn't spend much time, maybe what, 5, 6, 7, 8 periods here. Instant move here, pullback. Close to the line here, pullback. Same thing here, same thing here. It never really spent any time in this area. And I'm going to put another line in here, which is roughly around that level of resistance, because every time it pulled back, it seemed to come in towards this little general area. So it's a nice little range box. All right, so then it comes up to this, it pulls back. Comes up close to it, it pulls back. Now it comes up to this, and this time it congests between and above and below these lines for 1, 2, 3 periods. This is why I like to have just a few periods. Then on this move here, which is starting May 19th or 3 days ago, it comes up to this line, but just like this, it would pull back in here. Now it's pulling back and supporting this area rather than resisting it, which is what it had done every prior time before this. This is where it congested. This and before in here, every single time, like 3, 4, 5, 6, like 7, like 8 or so times. It came up to or close to the line and then pulled back below it. This time it came up to the line and it supported it rather again of the opposite. We resist this line again, but keeping this uptrend line in play and this very big move here. I would have liked to see it hold and like find support here. It still technically can hold and stay above the 52.2 level, but it is staying above holding the 18 lows. It is keeping this uptrend line still in play. And from this point in here, we have seen, I don't know, I can do the math on it. So May 19th in the morning, that's 3 days. So 6 times, six of these in a day, that is. So times that by 3 days, that's 18, plus a couple. It's been about 20 periods from the time it's gotten up there to just staying in this congestion area. One of the things that I look for when you got key levels, when it hits and pulls back, I want to see it just stay in that area for a good amount of time. And that's what I'm seeing within this market right now. So I'm still up, very, very optimistic actually, that this thing is ready to go. Hence the reason why a couple times in the past, a few days ago and a few weeks ago, I decided to enter into a large position, considering it. Well, my third largest, I believe, not counting Bitcoin. Or yeah, so outside of Bitcoin, DGB, and it's not far behind DGB now, but yeah, Bitcoin, Litecoin, DGB, and Bitcoin Cash would be my top 4 holdings, I think. I'm thinking of some other ones. Yeah, that'd be my top 4 right now. On the 15-minute time frame, just to show you what I mean about this move over this period of time, this is where it got above. So, it's now above here, and it was a decent amount of time. And if I scroll back on the 5, so it got above it. So 1, 2, 3, 4 periods, 20 minutes to go up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 25 minutes or so to go down the 18 lows, and then a little bit after that. So we're not a flash move. This happened on all the exchanges everywhere else. Big buy coming in, big volatility. I mean, overall, within a low volatile market, this is going from the 5220 handle to the 5600 handle. So that's a differential of like 38 points, which is 7-8%. But it's a lower volatile market. But overall, when we look at this again for the final time, I mean, there's not much I can go on because of the Actually, this is the entire thing because it's a monthly time frame. But you have it go from the 30% handle down here is the 52. So where we are is this level of support, 5.2%. It was 2.4. Yeah, some okay volatility, but now let's take a look at. I'm going to put this on the daily just before I do it. The Bitcoin Cash SV, which is only available, as we can see, at least it's not available on Binance, not available on Bittrex. It's available on Poloniex. It's available on HitBTC. I traded HitBTC a few times off and on in 2017 rather. And then just recently I went on there, yeah, let's just see what's going on there. And then they did the KYC, know your customer stuff. And I was just like, whatever, nah, I'm not going to do it. So the days of Scooby Doo accounts coming to an end. Although technically right now Binance seems to be one. But Poloniex, Bittrex, all those sites, you need to give the idea. I mean, technically it should work for both parties. But let's take a look at this because I'm taking a lot of time again now in the 21st minute. All right, so what are the things I'm going to talk about? This is a huge move. Yesterday's session up 67.5%. All the losses it had from April the 11th down to May the 13th, a month, was back in one gain. Those dates were chosen because I'm looking, okay, well, it got to this high. So where did it break down from? Oh, April 11th. Where did it break out from? Oh, the 880 handle? Okay, well, it entered the 80 handle here. So it took a month to go from those two levels. And as far as on the 15-minute term time frame, it took about 1, 2, 3, 4. It took about an hour to get back what it lost in a month. Welcome to cryptocurrency land. As far as buy low, sell high, well, let's just look at the math on this from how this would work. If you use this with orders, well, Poloniex hasn't done anything to, as far as I know, to suspend trading, all that type of stuff. All your funds have been and still would be safe. And with that being said, it would have been buying and selling. Okay, nice. And then it goes down and was there a profit here to trade? Well, maybe you get the bottom, but if you do, 160 to 196. If that meets your volatility, maybe some trades come in. But you could be buying here at 174, waiting to buy at 156, and then after selling, and then maybe having a sell order at like 1995, missing it. All those things can happen as well. But then you get days like this. So the high was 173,000 handle, or it was in the 170 area, and it fell down to 82. So whatever buy orders you could have had at that time could have instantly been taken in and been sold instantly that day. And if you did that, well, the next day, the market went down like 40 basis points on the day from the 166 handle, so that was like 25% decline. So again, if you got buy order here at one, and you could have only got maybe 135 here, and then that was it. And maybe you did that again, and you could sell immediately. A little bit of volatility in here, and then the markets are going down, so you're just going to be buying whenever the target levels come in, and then sell. And that would be about it. So maybe if you got into this from the start, definitely. If you got into this back when it was 120, you should be up right now. But how would your portfolio look at this low? You would have been down, and it's just going to come back fast. That's part of the risk reward. You might get impatient. Now I want to sell, and then you missed it. And then sometimes you get impatient, you sell, and you're glad you do because it kept going down. But that's again all part of the risk versus the reward. With this on a weekly chart, all this has done is gone to the 18 average of highs, which was declining. So as long as it can hold 114, that's going to be enough to start to make the 18 average of lows flatten out. And for the 18 average of highs to flatten out, then over the next week, this week is already, it can't go any lower, that number, based on the mathematics. But next week, it's going to have to come back again to this 143 level. If it can come next week to 143 or higher, that would be enough to make it flatten out. So now you're like, okay, you've been in a major decline. Okay, Now you've just done something to take a breather. You haven't even attempted to revert the trend. So therefore, I'm putting a line here and a line here. And let's just evaluate to see because, okay, what's the 18 average of lows? 114. So let's do it that way. All right, so this is the 18 average of highs and lows. Take a look at this now, say on the 1 hour time frame. So far, it's done it. And I'm going to keep this in. I'm not going to trade it. I'm not getting in this. Maybe something might change my mind later on that would do so, but I don't see what would. I'm going to make this a little longer. Let's just quickly look at the top gainers and losers on. We'll do Bittrex. Initial coin offering. It used to be ICO. Now I guess it's IEOs. Initial exchange offerings. I've never done it. I'm not attempting to get into any USD markets. So I'm going to Bitcoin SV. Let's look at the best change. We got 31% down. That's IOC. So let's take a look at that. I haven't looked at it in quite some time. I'm not invested in it. And on the daily term time frame, it's been going down since, of course, this April high. And we've now had in yesterday's session, really its third resistance move pullback within the 18 average, and this one broke this major level of support right here. And when we take a look at this on the hourly time frame, I mean, it looks just a fast move. The volume looks like it's pretty big. I think it's a little hidden because of, yeah, decent size. So someone makes a big sale on this, and that happens. It's a thin market overall. Let's just, yeah, that's not much more to it. Weekly chart. Interesting. It's got some okay volatility, I think. So 1900 up to like 25,000, down to 7,000, up to 63,000, supporting multiple times at 28, but then in the September 2017 high, got up to over 120,000, 120,000 down to 10,000, up to 62,000. 62,000 has then since went down to 2,700, up to 8,600. And it's been in this downtrend. I see it leaving the weekly. So if I wanted to speculate on this, it's a big gamble as it is anyway. Then I would probably look towards, let's do Fibonacci downside. So I'm looking for a downtrend with a low at 2702. I'm going to bring my Fib calculator up. And I'm looking for a lower high rally. And I got one in at 7505. So if I were to, and I'm not doing this, but if I were to be looking in, I'd be thinking somewhere around a pierce below 1437. 1300. And what did it do in the low right now? 1530. Pierce above, but no, I wouldn't. I'd even think 1,000 even. It's because when I look at it, it's just you had this move in the 18, you break above it, come back. Then you get above it, hold and stay. But look how important it is to hold the 4,500 area, and it didn't do it. We're seeing weakness leaving from it. It's already broken down below 29.86. I'm going to expect it. And with this volatility we've been having, I would be thinking 1,000 even as a possible speculation. And as far as like, okay, I'm in it for the long term. I don't mind buying in if it goes down there. It's already way low. Well, if it suits you for it, and if you're looking for something high risk, high reward, I think this one most certainly would be in that category. Final video will be the best gainer, Ignis, and Circuits of Value. Circuits of Value got its ass kicked big. It was like 11. Wow, did that get killed? I think I'm just going to make sure that this didn't get delisted. It didn't. Okay. So we'll do Ignis. Will be the final chart of the well, morning, I guess, late morning now, 11 o'clock a.m. as I'm doing this. That's a newer type of code. It's been going straight down from the start on the weekly chart. Yep, it's nothing but down. Here was a, I mean, like tempt. I mean, it goes to the 18 highest, it goes below it, all over and over. Here, it gets way above it. It holds enough for the 18 highest and lows to flatten out, but it doesn't get above it. And then in here, we can see showing weakness for a few periods, little leg there. And now all it's done is made a move back. It's got a long, 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 long ways to go. So as far as it on the daily time frame, this is somewhat similar, I guess, to in here. So what happened before is you had your move in here. Where did you come from before? Where's the 18? Where you came from before, this general area we can see was support. Had an attempt to break it, didn't do it. Had another attempt here. And then you were seeing this weakness amongst this area, the falling from that area in here. And what has happened since is like, wow. So same thing again. Same thing again. It's going to be the 18. It's going to be where we came from in here. Right now, I'm looking at this ballpark area. And of course, I'm not trusting this. I'm not looking at its wallet. I'm not going to do anything more with this. This was just for entertainment purposes for me. Whatever purpose is it for you? Well, that's your own risk, your own reward, your own decisions. And thank you for tuning in. Have yourself a great day. And I'll probably there's about a 96, 94% chance more video, at least one more video will come. Have a great day. Bye bye.